Right, there we go. I'm on, apparently. Um, right, so it's been a while again since I've done this, but I think should be able to make some more progress. I do need to figure out where to head next, but in theory, we have everything we need to make at least the basics to allow us to start interacting with things in the world. So I'm going to fire up the armor engine because we're going to be needing some more classes. So last time I made the concept of a resource, which can be either a physically placed object in the world or a sort of a moving actor, like a, I don't know, deer, a rabbit, or a bear or something. So I should probably first of all prove that that's possible. So I should probably create a base class of animal first. I'm trying to think whether or not it needs to be a character. And I'm gonna say probably not. I can always change it later. I'll make it an actor for now. But yeah, so in theory, all I need to do, so we're gonna make a new C++ class, assuming this is all, yep, cool, we're all good. Um, C. This is interesting because yeah, they have a mesh, collision, built-in movement logic. But I'm not sure we need this, or at least anything to this extent. It might be a little overkill because pawn the players, because we don't really need anything more than, I suppose we need the AI for this. So the pawn is basically, you know what, let's just go with character then. Might be a little overkill, but there we go. So to go further from this, so we've got our concept of a resource. So if I go back up to here, oh, it's still not finished. Come on. Yep, reload. Yeah, whatever. Right. I'll just fire this up. So our aim here is to make it so animals have some very rudimentary AI, perhaps the ability to randomly roam around. So we'll need some timers, model and everything as well. But let's see what we can do. It's probably going to need a blueprint class of our animal. Let's just call this deer for now. So this needs a model, a mesh. So we need a skeletal mesh to represent this character. So we're just going to leave it as a person for now. So we're technically going to be cannibals for a bit, you know, chasing down and hunting people, which isn't the intention, but it'll do for now. If I remember correctly, it's animation blueprints. It's been a very long time since I've made a new character blueprint before. Let's have a look. third person. Yeah, okay, so let's steal that. I think we go to this. Okay, it's in here. This one. Cool, so it should have the default animation and stuff. So we go into here. Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's just a physical person. And then we're also, before we go any further, we're going to need some AI. So if we come down, is it not part of this? That's interesting. I'd have thought AI would have been default thing in here. Okay. AI controller. So this is going to be we might need a base AI controller that has standard operations for units. Let's just leave it as specific and I can come back and change it later. Wait for this to finish. So yeah, so we're gonna hopefully be whatever. Hopefully be able to make the AI controller a bit more functional. So we're probably going to want a tick method for now. Spelling this morning. Very, very important that you always do call back to the super tick. Because if you forget to do that, you're screwed. Okay, now we want to give this some kind of basic stats and things that it can work with. So let's make it private now. So we want a float, which is going to be let's say idle time. It's probably going to have I suppose the movement speed, but that's going to be on the character itself, which we should be able to change. I believe it's max walk speed. I'll figure that one out later. And we're going to want to override begin play. There we go. Right. Come on. Okay, so all we're going to do, we're going to make it so it just moves to a random point inside of the navigation radius. So I suppose we also want a int which is travel distance. And some of them could be hostile, potentially attack other units. Because our game character is currently being used as our like overseer class, and I think I need to change this because we're not actually controlling a individual person, and so I actually technically ought to make it so that the animal class inherits from our game character. We need another base class to spawn at the start. So what you've got in an RTS is you're controlling uh like a just a no character. You can interact with the world, place buildings, move units and stuff around. And what we want to have is a class that represents that, and then a base class that all of the AI and stuff can be. So your workers and your unit, your military units and stuff, anything that you can control should be inherent from the base class. Um, so I probably should have right at the start made this other class over this. But I will, if I do that now, I think I should be able to shift the majority of the code because there's not really much going on here. Okay, I'm kind of a bit all over the place. Let's get the animal working because that's kind of a standalone class that we can use. So for some reason, there it goes, right. Always call the supers and these, otherwise it just doesn't function sometimes. So we need a timer that makes this move. And in the Armor engine you have an F timer handle, and this will be idle timer. And then all we're going to do is we're going to have a method which is move to random location. So we're we want to get our character, so it's going to be something like hopefully it's this. Looks like it. Oh, Java's a reserve word. Let's call it C for now. So we want to move randomly in the world. So if I remember, we can do something like, is it gameplay statistics? I do have an example of where I do this. Yeah, I'll go and find the code for that one. My other one, because it's very useful. And I think it's going to be in my function library. So this is a bit of a mess, but if we here, it's either in here or let's try the spawn points. Where are we looking? Respawn point? Nope. Okay, it'll be in the character then. I don't know why I've done it in the character, but here we go. Ah, right. Oh, good grief. Yeah. Okay. So I'm probably going to want to copy this because it's very, very useful. So what this is doing, so normally we would have, so you'd have this. So we go. So we want to get the current navigation system. So this is the radius, sorry, the volume that you define inside the editor, that big green section that comes up when you press P. And we want to be able to move into a sort of a random location within that. We don't want to try and make our animals move somewhere they can't go. So then we do something like c get world, and then this gives us access to the navigation mesh, and then we can do get random point in navigable radius, and then we pass in, so we've got I believe that's, yeah, it's start location. Yeah, start location, the radius, and then it returns a location. So we want an F vector. A vector which is called location. And then we're going to, so I'm going to use this. This in C++ is a macro. So we're creating a shorthand version of this. So instead of me having to type all of this out, we can do this, and we get our character to get actor location, start location, the world, the radius. So this will be our travel distance, and then lock for the location. And this is going to run all this code exactly using these properties in these places. So yeah, so we got that. So now we have a random location. And then we can do c dot, oh no, sorry, wrong buttons, there we go. To move to location. That's interesting. Doesn't seem to like this. For some reason it doesn't like the macro being like that. Okay, I'll just do that. There we go. Okay, so we now got something that can move to a random location. So when we begin play, we move to a random location. Then we want to set a timer. So timers are set from the context of a world. So on begin play, actually let's do it inside here. We want to do get world set from here. Get timer manager. There we go. So we get the timer manager. We do set timer. Okay. So we want to use this handle here. This means this allows us to keep track of all the idle timers and reference it, because the timer manager can handle multiple types of timers at the same time, which is quite useful. So we put the timer handler in, and then you want a reference to the method you want to run. So you pull out exactly this. And now in C++, this is saying this is a pointer to a function. And then we want the rate, which will be our idle time. Okay, so now we have we begin play, we move to a random location, we get a character, find a random location that we can move to that location, and then we're going to run this method again after a certain time. And now we just need to set those properties by default. So we make a constructor, implementation, so idle time, let's say for testing purposes 5 seconds. Travel distance. So the units are quite large usually, like 100 doesn't get you very far. So let's go with 3,000. That's going to be a fair distance. And then if we play this, we should be able to go into the blueprint for the animal and assign the timer and stuff to it. Right, I forgot all of the includes, so give me a second. Come on, you're gonna let me do it from here? No. So we want navigation system. We probably going to want do we need that? Which ones are you complaining about? Set timer, yeah, okay. Okay, let's see where we get. I'm pretty sure I've set this up correctly. That's interesting. Undefine use of a character. Something else has screwed this up. That's interesting. Oh, does tick have delta time? Ah, sorry, right. The tick method has a float in it of delta time, which is the time passed between one tick and the other. That's probably all that is. Easy to forget. Hopefully that's that. One use of a character. That's interesting. Do you not? I wouldn't think you would have needed that, given that you have character here. Oh, it's F navigation location. Sorry, right, it's a navigation location. If I put in an extra property, I don't think so. Let's have a look where else we've set a timer. Set timer, handle this. delay. Oh, I'm forgetting the this part. Yeah, so we need to give it a reference to which class it is that's doing it. Outer object, delegate. I think that should be okay. So we've got the handle to the timer, the instance of the class which is running that particular timer. Because like I said before, timers can be handled by sorry, they have a handle to them, and so you could technically run a timer from one instance of a class and then kill off another instance version of that timer as well. So hopefully that's fixed that problem. Oh, I probably don't need to do this. There we go. So I just missed a couple of includes and property. It's not all bad. Okay, right. And now all we need to do is go into here. AI controller, and we want animal AI controller, compile, save. And if we run this, wonderful. And if we wait a few seconds, there it goes. So we've now got something that moves around randomly. It's not the best. I don't know why it's angled so weirdly. Is that because I've put it in the wrong direction in here? Yeah, that's all. Let me fix that. Literally just didn't rotate it. Cool. Yeah, there we go. And so if I was to import somebody else's skeletal mesh for like a deer, I could just replace it with that, give it the default animations. But yeah, so now onto the important bit, i.e. the bit part of making it able for us to like interact with it, like the resources. So realistically, all we need to do is get this interface, go over to the animal, and make it inherit from the resource interface. We add an include to the interface, and then just like with the resource, we want to override these methods. So we want the take resources, the get type, get amount. And then we implement them. Where am I looking? Oh god, right, I've got too much open. Give me a second. Don't need the controller anymore. That, don't need that. There we go, right. Going here. Okay, and we also want a resource stats, which we're going to put up here. Okay, so now we have the same premise as the gold, the stone, the wood. It's all they're all going to function in the same way. So when we do take resources, amount minus equals amount stats dot type stats dot amount. And then when we, in our constructor, we can do just set the amount to 25 by default. I'm probably going to close this, we can launch it. Hang on a sec. And we don't have specific subtypes, so type is going to be food. And if I go into our, nope, oh, I'm not returning, hang on. Return, blah, 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 cool. Yeah, we understand. Hate that it does this. Should probably do what it says at some point. This doesn't actually need to do anything fancy at the moment, but I'll leave it all in there because just in case. Food, that, and then if we open up our controller, is this where we, no, okay. So we got code in the character that should arguably be in the controller. We'll get round to that. But I can just copy it out and job done. So theory. If I go into here and we do we want one for food. So this won't function initially because this doesn't exist, but we can eventually make it. Same way we did before, where we copy and paste the other decal and change the color and stuff. Yep, so it doesn't find it because we haven't made it yet. However, actually no, let's do it before we go any further. I want to duplicate food cursor. We'll need to restart the editor first, but get this. Food's usually a nice pinky red, up to. Close the editor again. This time it should find it. Alright. And now when I hit play, so we've got our gold color, we've got a brown color, and now it pretty much, is it working? Intriguing. Okay, let's see what it does then. Okay, so it's not working on this, but it does work on the wood. Yeah. Okay, so let's figure this one out. It should work though. I'm surprised it hasn't. Let's type animal. What are we using? Get hit easy visibility. This is just gonna keep happening. I can't do that. Okay. So for some reason we're not detecting the cursor moving over this. I'm suspecting something possibly to do with the collision. Let's have a look at the collision on this. Actor. That's spawning. Generate overlap doing network streaming. Blah 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 blah. Let's just see if this has our other stuff in it. Manage cooking. Okay, I can't even see it. Okay, so it does have our resource stuff here. So it's got food and 25. So that's fine. I can't actually see the cursor at all. Oh, this is ridiculous. Decal's not working at all now. Oh no, what have I done? So it's still functional. Picks up the wood cursor. Oh, this is a nightmare. So for some reason the cursor's not picking this up. I'm wondering why. What collision channel is this stuff on? So I don't know why the collision's not more a big deal here. Collision block all. Okay, let's change this then to collision block all dynamic. The decal seems to have stopped functioning. Let's just close it entirely real quick. Oh Lord. I'm surprised this isn't working. Okay. Ah, okay, it's working now. Yeah, there we go. Right. So I just had to change the collision channel. I will look into that at some point because I've not done too much with collision channels in the past. But it looks like we've now got access to food basically, so we can interact the AI and stuff. This is technically coming up as basically the food thing. I'm wondering if I can change the cursor. So I've done that in the past. The because this is like a manually set cursor, something that's created externally from the controller. Yeah, here we go. So realistically, we do want to actually move the cursor functionality into here. And ideally all of the properties and stuff that this has. So with that in mind, let's actually do it. Because we don't need an actor that moves around or anything at all. Or we could have an actor that isn't a character. But for now we'll do this. So let's see. So we need to shift this out into a controller because it's stupid having this stuff set up in the character. It just doesn't make any sense. So we take that, take this. Just probably more important to some of these. There we go. And then we need to start moving out the characters code. So we don't want that. Oh, I'm so torn. Because if the control from a contextual point of view, the controller is what does the all the actions, and realistically the character that you're controlling is the thing that holds the data about it. You know what, let's do this another way. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, if we're gonna put this back, because right, let's just make sure we still work. We're gonna make another character that's gonna be called Overseer, just RTS Overseer, which is the character that the well, sorry, it's gonna be an actor that we control, that still has a camera and everything. And then we can implement zoom in, zoom out functions because that'll be useful anyway. So it's probably going to be pawn actually. Because it doesn't need a skeletal mesh. So this is going to be our overseer. Right, so now we can move stuff into this. So the overseer is going to have all the data relating to everything. So it's going to hold the data. So we're going to get rid of the controller stuff, right? Why can't you copy and paste? Oh, it's doing that. Oh, hang on. Sometimes it has a little trouble when you create new classes. Yeah, we're gonna do this properly, and then the animal can inherit from the character, and then we should be good to go. So I'm gonna take this. Because the overseer code is going to be a lot simpler than the character code. We'll be needing this. And these aren't going to have this. So we want the camera and everything. That's all good. Controller. So that's with the camera stuff. And then we go into here and we take all of this. And we put it into here. Oh, I hate that it's got multiple publics and stuff. Right. So private. Okay, excellent. And then we go into here. We commandeer the resource stuff. And then we make this the overseer. Cool, should be good to go there. This is all set up. See, our character's got a lot slimmer now. And now we have access to all of that, which seems a little extreme, but we'll see. And then on tick, this is what we need to steal. Okay, perfect. See, this is basically nothing now because it doesn't need to be anything more than this. So if we go, so this is practically empty. I want to say we probably don't need half of this. But let's, so we want these in here. Just copying the includes. We want probably this. What about the head-mounted display? And then in here, we're going to include resource interface. Which I think is all we need. Perfect. Okay, so when I hit compile, this is going to break horribly, because I guarantee I've forgotten something. But we shall see what happens. Okay, and then we need to do the include for this. Resource. Which I think is the main issue. Why is it having a problem with that in there? Okay. A RTS overseer. It was just for some reason explicitly using our other class. Okay, it's whatever. We need to include it. Header. And then we need to go into the game mode. The control is still fine. We just need to change this at some point. No, we don't. We need to reparent it. So let's see what else we've got going here. Team up. Oh, good grief. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna have a lot of problems because we're inheriting from a pawn and not a character. So let's change that because that's probably going to do us in if I don't. And we can step it backwards at some point. Oops. Okay, fair enough. See what happens. Probably a lot less errors than the actual right errors. Yeah. Oh, I probably haven't got the include for this. Yeah, there we go. Open that. That will probably be what that is. Cool. Access protected member. Oh, okay, these will need to be public. We'll sort all of that out later. As always, this always seems to be a little overkill to me, but yeah. Yeah, we know. Wonderful. Right, round two. Oh, this is interesting. Where are we coming from? See what happens if we continue. Because we want this to be assets, asset edit, tools, reparent is what I'm looking for. There we go. Okay, let's see what happens. Right, if we go into code in here, let's just see if it still functions. I'd imagine it probably would. Excellent. So it's all still set up and we're all good to go. So if I close it, start it up again, let's see if we get those errors at start. Try and figure out what that was. It's likely that due to the fact that I changed the subclass. Yeah, fair enough. Cool, so we're all good, we're all up and running. We've moved on to the code on. So we now have our RTS getting character. And we have animal. So my intention here is to make this go to RTS getting character instead of that. Perfect. So now our animals will be inheriting from this, and then we can start making it so that the character has like health and movement speed and all that kind of stuff. Now let's just tidy this up so we don't need that. Probably doesn't need a begin play. Is it actually using tick? So animal's not going to do anything functionally different from a person as far as I'm concerned. So don't need begin play, don't need that, and don't need that. So as an example of what I've just done, so we're going to start this up, and of course our base characters aren't going to be basically a resource, unless I at some point include cannibalism into the game, I suppose, which would be concerning. So if I go into here and we go content and we make a blueprint class of our character, we're just going to make it so this where's the mesh? Here we go. Where is it? Female. There you go. Just for some obvious difference, I suppose. And then if we drag this in and hit play, so we've got an animal that's moving around, and if I go into here, get the mouse, there we go. So it's found it. We've got a it doesn't work like that. It's found food. But now if I mark this again and I hover over this, it doesn't trigger. So you can see, barely see with the cursor because it's so crap, that we're not triggering the fact that we've hovered over a resource, but as soon as we do, we get the, we find the animal again. So that means that, so this character here could potentially be our, what am I going for here? So this could be like a worker or something. But now we have a deer that moves around, which is technically a person at the moment. I will maybe look into doing some basic 3D models or animation, or I guess see if there's any existing ones I've got access to already. I don't tend to use other people's content for this, but I'll just have a look because I'm pretty sure I added some of the wildlife packs. Not library. Yes, library. Yes. Ah, okay. So I do actually have the African animals. So I might as well. Yeah, okay, it's not going to be... Yeah, because it's UE5. It will probably work, and I will test that later. I can't see a reason why it shouldn't. Anyway, so we're moving a bit weirdly, but it's all right. So this is actually going to be our RTS. Overseer blueprint. And then we go into the game mode, change it to that. So we're now using the Overseer blueprint, which is in here. This is just going to be see for now. Just line those up a bit more together. Wonderful. So we've gone from we've got all the basic resources. I'm also going to change the cursor right now because it's actually annoying me. What other options do we have? Grab hand. Okay, let's just go with hand. Just close it and start it up again just to, because that crosshairs are horrible. But something, so what we're going to do next is implement the zoom in, zoom out function, I think. So we're going to want a bind action, which is going to be a pressed, which is going to be zoom in. This is going to be zoom out. Um, Perfect. Where am I looking? Back here. This is across. Zoom in. Out. And then we're gonna want some properties to manage this. So we want to max zoom zoom rate, and then in here that was a bit weird. So we want maximum to be, I don't know, make it 4,000. Zoom rate 100, and then we want to do, so if we go to our, not our character, our overseer, we have this target arm length, right, which in here we can go where are we looking? That's interesting. Let's just call it overseer. So we go this dot get camera boom dot target arm length plus equals zoom rate minus equals zoom rate, and we want to cap it, so what's the simplest way of doing this? I had a good system for this before, but let's just keep it simple. Greater than max zoom let me, yeah, it's whatever. And if it's less than, we want a min zoom as well, which should probably be like, I don't know, 1,000 or something. Da, 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 min zoom, let's make it 500, right. And now we just need to go into the properties. Oh, hello. Fancy meeting you here. You alright? Oh no. Came in at a bad time. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, thanks. What are we after? We're after that. I've forgotten an include again. There we go. Right, that's more promising. We're just implementing some zoom at the moment. Because it's a little obnoxious being fixed. So used to playing games where you can zoom in and out, and I can't at the moment. So let's have a look. If I remember correctly, it's in project settings. Somewhere in here it's inputs. There we go. And we want action mappings, right? So we basically want something for the mouse wheel. So it's mouse wheel up, and this is going to be zoom in. Pretty sure I capitalized it. And then we're going to want another one, which is mouse wheel down. And in theory, that's all we need to do. Nope. Okay. Let's have a look. Zoom in, zoom out. Firstly, does it even reach the code? No, it doesn't. Okay. It's not. Sometimes this is trivial. Not always. Zoom in, zoom out. Mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down. I might need to restart it. So I think it sets these up as the game loads. Or I may have bound it in the... Oh, I didn't change what method it's running. Zoom in. There we go. Close. So close. It really doesn't take much to mess this up, so... But this should work, hopefully. Come on. I hope you can hear me and stuff, alright? I haven't even bothered to check the audio this morning. Oh, geez. Right. Okay. Oh, I did the inverse. But yay, we can actually zoom in and out now. Cool, right. Okay, so now can I see the cursor? Haha, excellent. So the cursor's changing appropriately based on what we're hovering over. We can move around, albeit very poorly. I'm not sure why the character's not changing direction properly, but it's whatever. It's not important. I mean, we're not actually going to be a character. In fact, probably worth changing that now. Where am I looking? Oh, mesh. I've gone past it already. Oh, okay. Let's clear it. We shouldn't even have a capture component. Do we have one by default? No. Okay. That's interesting. We shouldn't be generating any kind of collision at all, basically. No collision. Oh, is this gonna break it? Alright, well, what are you up to today then? I feel like I should put chat on screen or something. spectator. That sounds reasonable. What happens now? Hey, so we don't have a character. I just need to invert the zoom in, zoom out, because got that the wrong way around. Oh, controller. Take you, put you there, take you, put you there. Good, right. Yeah, because zoom in is smaller, right? Good. Yeah, it's breakfast. Have I eaten? I've had some biscuits. That's about as far as I've got this morning. Oh god, it's 12:15. I suppose time flies when you're programming. Is there an easy way for me to get chat to show up? I've never actually... Like, I could just drag the chat in here, but it's not really going to work, is it? No. I'm curious now. I probably ought to do like an overlay or something. Blah, blah, blah. Add. Ooh, okay. I'll look into this later. I'm sure there's a guide on how to display chat inside. Because otherwise people are going to think I'm talking to nobody. Which is what I usually do anyway, because not many people come into chat. So. But it's all good. Well, what do we actually need to achieve next? So we need some basic concepts again. We need... So we're an RTS game. We have resources, we have units, we have buildings. So I need another interface that allows me to attack things. That's probably the another good thing to do. But we need a building class and a we've got the character class, and then you can interact with resources. We need the concept of selecting things as well. Okay. Ideally, we're going to want an interface that allows us to select stuff. And then we need UI that probably, again, an interface that allows the UI to bring up a set of stats for the thing that you're clicking on, which can change based on the thing that you're clicking on. So let's do that. We're going to want a interface. Unreal interface, there we go. So this is going to be a damageable. Bit of a bad word, but I mean it gets the point across. Something that can be damaged. Yeah, we know. Right. We've been over this before. There we go. So, things that can be attacked. So if we want yeah, save. Okay, kind of functions, right. So we're gonna want a actual method void. Something around the lines of take damage. Wow, my spelling today. Jeez. We want let me just look at my existing one just to make sure I'm doing this in the right place. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, Yeah, it's all done in there. Cool. Right. Okay. Carrying on. So we want to implement that. Does nothing by default. We want a float get health. I think that's all we care about. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Okay, so we have health and take damage, and the damage needs a float. Damage. Go back into here. Float damage, and then on our character, so if we close all but this, and somewhere in here, RTS character here, we're going to want click I damageable interface. Add include, and then we literally copy that, paste it over here, shove in the override, implement that, implement that, set one. Okay, so now we have an interface for things that can take damage, but we also need something for managing like health. So on our character, we're going to want another struct, which I'm going to commandeer from here. We're going to get rid of that, and this is going to be character stats. So this is going to have health value, a current health value, a max health value. It's probably going to want a name. Let's just do that. Name. Let's be more specific because name's probably going to be used or reserved somewhere else. And then we need the character here. Do private character stats. And then in stats we go stats dot character 100 health, max health. There we go. This will return stats dot current health, and then that's current health minus equals damage. And we've implemented the concept of damage, or at least from the character's perspectives. I understand what this does. Thank you very much. Okay. So now we can potentially attack characters, which means the animal's going to have health and everything as well. And if I stop this and I go to here, if I make this public for now, I can do the same thing with resources just to prove that this works. Put a U property U. Oops. Yeah, well. And then we can make a object, not an object. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so we want to call this resource stats. So it had a name conflict because it's we already called something stats in animal. So this is now resource stats, which is the EF resource stats there. Cool. And now when we eject from our character and look at animal, it should have its resource stats and its current health, name, and max health displayed in the editor. Cool. Oh god, it's so cold in here now. Right. Let's have a look. So we want to play, we want to eject, pause the game. Oh, whoops. Stats. Oh, hey, perfect. So we've got the resource stats and the actual stats. It's got 100 health and it's worth, and it's a resource of food. Excellent. So this means when we have the ability to, from our controller, select, when we implement the idea of like selecting units and sending them to fight, we can select a unit and then on right click from the overseer over here. So we can implement a method in here which will be on right click, and then we can check the object that we've right clicked on and the objects that we have selected. And in this instance, it could, for instance, be we've selected one of our warriors. We right click, we check whether it has damageable. So then we would have access to the health and the take damage method. And if, for instance, we were to right click with some warriors on a deer, we would check if its health was greater than 0. Because if it's not, then it's a dead deer on the floor. If it is, we can kill it. And then if we selected a worker and we did the same, we would check if it was alive. If it's still alive, we go into combat with it. If it's not alive, then we can harvest the resources from it. And that's how this is going to work. So we'll do a check on their health. The controller for the animal, for instance, I could do this now. Let's see, animal controller. So on move to random location, we could have, this is going to be a animal, and then we're going to do a cast. So we want to check if we're controlling an animal. So we're going to cast our character, which should always be an animal because I wouldn't assign an animal AI controller to anything else. We get the animal and then we go if c.getHealth greater than 0, do this. And now this AI will stop performing this function if its health is ever less than 0. So we can prove this by, I think it's, I'll just press this, recompile the code. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, give me a sec. I know what's broken. I have to include animal. Add the include to animal. Hopefully that will work. So obviously it's going to stop moving when it's dead. It'd be be pretty crappy if it didn't. Well, I mean, it would be pretty good benefit for the animals if they could move around when they're not alive, but it's not what we're trying to do here. So, okay, so it's moving, so it's still functioning. If I select this and go for health, okay, so it's going to move again, and if I set that to 0, it stopped moving. So it's lost all of its health, and now the animal won't be able to move anymore. And for some reason the cursor is still defaulting to crosshairs, which is I thought I fixed. Hang on. Where is that happening? Is there another place? I can't imagine there is. Let's go into the overseer a second. Yeah, it's not doing it anywhere in there. God damn it. Why is this not working? Oh well, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so there's a good proof of concept. So this animal was dead. If I stop and play again, eject. So it's moving around. We set its health to 0, and it should never move again. Cool. All right, looks good. Cool. Jobs are good. We're getting into this now. So we've now got that as an idea. Oh, and just to see that it still works, we get the cursor. We get the cursor. I feel like the animal one and the wood one are too similar. Let's make this like a really bright red. Ooh, that's not red. There we go. Solid red. I don't know why the wood color is so crappy. That's not brown. How have I managed this? Right, look. We want that. Maybe a bit more red. It's practically gold. No wonder. Is it gonna change appropriately? Kind of. I think I need to restart it though. It loads those when you start the when it constructs the objects, so it may not be correct, but it only takes a few seconds. Cool, right. Okay, I mean it's definitely working, just brown's a really crappy cursor. Cool. We got our little red thing. We got the hand symbol as well. What we could do quite easily later is change the cursor icon. So when we hover over stuff that we can interact with, I can make like a little pickaxe symbol for the resources. If it find for gold and stone, and then a little axe icon for when we hover over wood, and then what am I going for here? And then like a bow and arrow symbol when we hover over the animal. That will come later. That'll be pretty easy to do anyway, so it should be fun. So yeah, we've got the makings of a real-time strategy game. The next step is, in my head, is to make the buildings. And then once we've got things like a building, we need to make a user interface that changes based on stuff you have selected. So I'll make a building, a selection interface, then some UI for each type of object that we can potentially select, which will have like a base UI that will like appear at the bottom of the screen. And it'll be something, it will just be like a box that's a fixed size, and then we inherit from that, and then we add in our own, if you select like a tree, it will just have the fact that it's a tree and then the amount of wood it's got left and maybe a little picture for it. And then the same for like the animal. And then when you select a building, it can have variable menu systems and stuff inside with buttons and scalable groups that change dynamically based on how many options you can select and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to make subclasses for the building types with buttons that perform functions based on what they do. And we'll need to set up timers for when you press a button, it goes off and does, produces a unit with a little progress bar, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully I can make it generic and make it reusable, and mostly in C++. That's the bit I really want to nail down, because you do the layout in blueprints, but you put all the functionality in the C++, and then you basically want to how do you do this? You want to make it event driven, so you make it so when the value changes, then you update the UI, and it won't be too much of an issue because it will only ever be updating like an integer or float or something, and usually not very often, and probably only one or two of them, so I can't imagine it would be much of an issue, but for performance anyway. But yeah, so we can properly zoom in now. What on earth is our default decal there? That's weird. That's cool though. So that's definitely red. Brown really doesn't come through. Does it need to be darker perhaps? Oh, something we can do real quick is in the controller, instead of move to, we can do set actor location. Because we're not actually going to physically move. And if I recompile the code here, I'll give over. All right, hang on. Okay, let's try that one again, shall we? Cool. And then when we play, oh, I changed the wrong code. I pause. Oh, why are there two? Oh, being an idiot. Hang on. Distance, blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. Okay, let's try that again. Why though? My pawn. Okay, fine. Wait, where am I looking? Oh. Round 3. There we go. Actually, I can use one of your remotes, Catsy, for this. Where is it? Oh no. Wait, how do I? My god, the chat in here is so weird to use. Let me figure this out a sec. Aha, there we go. Oh, can I not use some of them? Oh, I see. Don't worry. I was gonna use the first try the crossed out emote, which I love the concept of. I do it all the time. It's there all the time myself. Right, there we go. Instantly fast traveling around the map. It's a bit jarring, but I'll I'll sort that out. But for now, I mean, it does what we need it to, right? New. Yeah. Oh, geez. All right. So, yeah, I might put it back to how it was moving and just make it move really fast. That would probably be better. Let me just do that real quick. I think we can go to here and we do. Let's do it up here. Move. We want our movement components. So we do get set. Interesting. How did I do this before? Sorry, I'm just gonna have to character. Okay. Let's try that. That's probably going to be pretty quick. Get rid of that now. Oh, is it not running? Da, da, da. Do I seriously need an include for that? That's interesting. Character movement component. How odd. That'll probably be why my IntelliSense can figure it out. Now we should just move quickly, in theory. Or at some reasonable speed, anyway. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. No. I might turn that up to 2000, but that'll do. Right, I'm gonna stop now while I'm doing good. But yeah, so next time I will implement buildings, and then the absolute crux of this entire thing is going to be based on selecting units, moving them around, and giving them instructions, which won't be too challenging. I think I can probably do it with a very simple interface and some overriding of methods and things. We probably want to create another class of a subclass of character called NPC, and then you'll have a worker class or a military class, and then they'll perform different functions when they do the interact with objects. So yeah, hopefully that should do the trick. Right, I will hopefully catch you guys around, and I hope this is somewhat useful to people, because I see a lot of people struggling with C++ stuff. I do try and explain what I'm doing, and I really hope it's understandable to people, but if not, I am absolutely more than welcome to do hours of videos and stuff on how to approach doing all this kind of stuff. Because I don't want to say it's easy, because it's not. I've been doing this for like 6 years or something. It's like specifically C++ in the Unreal Engine. And I also do it for a job and just for fun every now and then. So I'm definitely a step up on new stars and stuff. I definitely but hopefully this will help some people, and I do my best to go onto the Unreal Engine forums and answer people's questions and help with bugs and stuff, because this is not easy. But I will hopefully be back in a couple days, maybe even tomorrow or this evening or something. And thanks for being here, Katsu, if you are still here anyway. I'll probably be watching you later. So see you guys around. Yeah.